Hello. This is the first box office time of 2018 year. There was many things happened in theater last year. Unexpected movies are succeed, and many movies are ruined, that we all thought would be succeed. Strictly speaking, there was reason. And it is not much fun if all markets being as expected. Star Wars: Last Jedi can't hold on the top after third week. Let me show you the box office score 2018 week 1. Wow, Sony's Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle is the top of this week. Last week, Jumanji was pushed by Star Wars, but approached a fairly minor difference. Jumanji hits Star Wars on the first day of the new year. Last week, dropped only 26%, this weekend's 3-day performance is $37 million. Cumulative domestic achievements was $245 million until Sunday. Hopefully, $300 million is possible. I was suspicious to the estimate grade $190 million, but it easily overtook it. It is really glad for Sony. In Sony's history, include Columbia, there were only 5 movies that exceed $300 million on domestic. It's the lowest grade in major studio. Spider-Man series take 4 in part of 5 movies, and 007 series Skyfall was recorded. Worldwide $1 billion is so far for Sony. There are 32 movies pass over $1 billion in worldwide gross, and Sony is the only one, Skyfall. FYI, Disney is 15. That's why Sony always bets life and death on Spider-Man. When the Amazing Spider-Man series was underperforming, it was lethal enough to be a crisis for Sony. The new Spider-Man was relieved by its steady performance this summer that was launched with Marvel again. And this movie, Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle is being really welcome to Sony. There were not much people who think the grades will come out well like this. It is well playing in worldwide too. Today's cumulative worldwide gross is $524 million. $700 million can be visualized. I am glad to see a contraflow in a long time after Hidden Figures. Let's see how it will continue to make remarkable progress. Last summer, the epic sequels were fell to ruin in a row. But except for the low-budget horror series of Universal and the Blumhouse combination. As soon as unveiled Insidious, The Last Key simply exceeded the production budget. Of course, it is a work that made with low budget, but $29 million is good record in first week of opening. Universal and Blumhouse combination start successively the new year, that hit Split and Get Out last year. The horror series, produced by Blumhouse and presented by Universal, seems to have a formula of success. This film's opening $29 million is the second highest opening in the series. The second one's opening is the highest at $40 million. For reference, best domestic record in this series is $83 million, and best worldwide record is $161 million, all 2 record was for second. To date, Insidious, The Last Key worldwide record is $49 million. Star Wars: The Last Jedi has finally fallen, which dominated the domestic theater scene in the last 3 weeks. Down 2 stairs, and placed third this week. Cumulative domestic performance by the 4th week is $572 million. This film has destiny that is compared to the previous film. Star Wars: The Force Awakens was $812 million performance in domestic until the 4 week. I still can't believe it. And the Star Wars: Last Jedi's cumulative worldwide record is $1.2 billion, and the prospects for the future are not very bright. China market opened in the weekend, and it grossed only $28 million for the 3 days. Nowadays, there are many movies that feed in China. Star Wars series are the only one being turned away from China. Based on current grade, domestic gross is expected to reach $600 million, and the worldwide $1.3 billion. This was one of the most popular films only in commercial, in Christmas week. But it shows a stronger shape over time. Fox's new The Greatest Showman continues his great journey. It was really terrible at the opening, but it has successful in rebounding last week, and it has been quite good on the weekend. It dropped only 11% lower than last week. Thanks to this, the cumulative domestic gross went up to $76 million up to third week. In addition, the worldwide record is expected to $151 million. Now they don't have to worry about break-even point. This film also continues to disappointment from the beginning, but it has nearly reached $100 million in domestic. Universal's Pitch Perfect 3 has fallen 2 stairs down to this week, but cumulative domestic performance is reaching $86 million, and expected to exceeding $100 million in domestic. The cumulative worldwide record for today is $141 million. Universal is quietly doing well business with low-budget movies. 6th is an animation. Ferdinand is down from 5th place last week. This film also caused a lot of concern at the time of release, but fortunately it is not the worst. The cumulative domestic record for the 4th week of release is $70 million, and worldwide is $183 million, which is also expected to surpass the break-even point. Fox seems to sigh of relief on 2 movies record. 7th movie is 13th debut last week. The number of theaters expanded and jump up to 7th on the weekend. It is a Molly's Game presented by STX. It discussed the story of the real person Molly Bloom, the queen of the poker world. Starring Jessica Chastain, Kevin Costner, and Idris Elba. And it is Oron Sorkin's directorial debut. He wrote A Few Goodbye Man, Moneyball, Steve Jobs, author of the popular drama West Wing, and he got the Oscar from Social Network. The gross up to second week is $14 million. Gary Oldman won the Best Actor in the Golden Globe Awards drama part on Sunday. It seems like the first time. I am so glad to his win. Gary Oldman was once a symbol of the villain, his outstanding act can see in the movie Darkest Hour. Last week the 8th and same place this week. It has been released 7 weeks and cumulative domestic record is $28 million. 9th place this week is Pixar's Koko, which fell 3rd stairs from 6th place last week. It released 7th week ago and total gross in domestic is $191 million, and it seems hardly over $200 million. And the total worldwide record to date is $590 million. It is Sony's film All the Money in the World. Based on a true story, directed by Ridley Scott, starring Mark Wahlberg, Michelle Williams, and Christopher Plummer. It is the story of J. Paul Getty, who became the world's richest man in the oil business, and his grandchildren are kidnapped. In conclusion, he was released from the kidnapper in 5 months. But the process was a series of things that were hard to understand. Ridley Scott says it's a cold-blooded thing to avoid the ransom. The reason why this movie became more hot is that Kevin Spacey was already finished shooting with the main character J. Paul Getty. But as you know, the sexual harassment case screw up all his scene. So he was changed to Christopher Plummer. It has reshooted. Of course, cost of additional shooting was enormous. Its critic score is good, but failed at the Golden Globe Awards. Sony's All the Money is 10th place this week. By the way, I doubt it can gross up to production cost. The domestic record of the up to second week is $20 million.
Best Motion Picture, Drama 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. Best Motion Picture, Animated Koko. Best Motion Picture, Foreign Language Austemnichts. Best Motion Picture, Musical or Comedy Lady Bird. Best Performance by an Actor in a Motion Picture, Drama Gary Oldman, Darkest Hour. Best Performance by an Actor in a Motion Picture, Musical or Comedy James Franco, The Disaster Artist. Best Performance by an Actress in a Motion Picture, Drama Frances McDormand, 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. Best Performance by an Actress in a Motion Picture, Musical or Comedy Saoirse Ronan, Lady Bird. Best Performance by an Actor in a Supporting Role in a Motion Picture, Sam Rockwell, 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. Best Performance by an Actress in a Supporting Role in a Motion Picture, Allison Janney, Tanya. Best Director, Motion Picture, Guillermo del Toro, The Shape of Water. Best Screenplay, Motion Picture, Martin McDonagh, 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. Best Original Song, Motion Picture, This Is Me, The Greatest Showman. Best Original Score, Motion Picture, Alexander Desplat, The Shape of Water.
Looking at the 2017 worldwide rankings and grades. Only Star Wars: The Last Jedi is the final pitch. The ranking is the 3rd place, and it will surely rise to the top of next week. However, as mentioned, the final grade is expected to be $1.3 billion. This week, 3 new movie and an expansion ready for new release. Next week, we expect to see changing in box office chart. First, it's a new action film Commuter present by Lionsgate. It is the fourth work of Liam Neeson and Jaume Collet-Serra. After Unknown, Nonstop, and Run All Night, they have worked with this three pieces of work. Also this time he is busy to save world. Liam Neeson, a former police officer, must stop the worst train terror. Their first two works were successful in the box office, but recent Run All Night had failed. Liam Neeson is almost 70. Isn't he great? I am wondering if he can show us fine action. In addition to Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson, who are the couples of the original Conjuring series, appear. To date, the number of theaters count 2,800, and the estimated opening gross is $11.5 million. The second is Paddington 2, the sequel to The Paddington, which released in 2014 and recorded a surprise hit of $76 million in domestic and $268 million in worldwide. Not only the cast of the first part but also the staff are participating in this sequel almost as it is, but only can't see Nicole Kidman. The former domestic distribution was in Weinstein, and this work is distributed by Warner. It has already earned nearly $100 million from overseas before opening in America. Theater number is 3,600, and the estimated opening score is $16.5 million. Proud Mary is action thriller which is distributed from Screen Gem. Taraji P. Henson appeared as an assassin, and directed by Babak Najafi. He is Iranian director who directed London Has Fallen. The assassin part is rolled by Taraji P. Henson. Looks unusually racy. Isn't it? The funny thing is she appeared in Hidden Figurines last year. That first and second placed in domestic market. The production budget is $14 million. Number of theaters has reached 2,200. Estimated opening score is $16 million. New films being released next week will somehow play a fighting game. However, there is another one. Fox's drama The Post is going to be wide release this week. It was unveiled on the 22nd of last month. Directed by Steven Spielberg, Tom Hanks and Meryl Streep, starring. It is true story that 1971 U.S. government's intervention in Vietnam War. And Washington Post uncovered a secret document from the Pentagon. It will be expanded to more than 2,800 theaters, and next weekend's estimated score is $17.5 million. It is nominated in 6 parts for the Golden Globe Awards. New year came with new hope. I hope to see a lot of interesting original movies this year. I don't expect the Han Solo movie.